Hello, my name is Mike Foster. I'm the host of the Bookkeepers channel. This video is to capture the latest article that I've written on LinkedIn titled Attract Your Ideal Customer with Effective Marketing. This is an article I've written based on some of my thoughts and findings over the last few years and content that I've spoke about at many conferences and seminars again over the last couple of years. It's not a short post. There's quite a lot of detail here covering the strategy and also the tactics for your marketing, and I hope that you find the article useful and thought-provoking for your own marketing purposes. On the screen you can see a copy of the URL where you'll be able to go and find and view the post live on LinkedIn, but I will read the post and we will add some visuals to this to help your thoughts. So over the last decade I've been delivering support to other business owners as either a franchisor via my own businesses or from a membership organisation. By far the biggest request for support is always marketing and how to find new clients. So this article shares some of my key thoughts in the areas that I've constantly spoken about at conferences in the past. I do hope that you find this article thought-provoking and helpful in some way with your own marketing, and wish you every success in finding your ideal clients to work with. To enable you to promote your business most effectively to prospective clients, you should have to consider three key areas. What are you offering? So therefore having a clear proposition for your clients. The strategic marketing, understanding who you want as clients and how you will capture their interest to engage with them. And the tactical marketing, how will you take the message to the market and attract your clients. As defined by the Chartered Institute of Marketing, marketing is the management process responsible for identifying, anticipating and satisfying customer requirements profitably. One definition that I particularly like is that a marketing strategy is a process that can allow an organisation to concentrate its limited resources on the greatest opportunities to increase sales and achieve a sustainable competitive advantage. Perhaps I can best define the process of marketing as the ability to create the awareness of your business with your target clients so that they buy you, your brand and your services. Your prospective customer will need to know, like and trust you before they are ready to use your services, and your marketing will help create this understanding and the desire to buy from you and your business. For me there are 7 recognised steps to grow a business, which I recommend as systemised as a regular activity in your business. Number 1, increase the number of leads. 2, improve the conversion rate of inquiries to sales. 3, increase the number of sales you make to one customer at that initial point of sale. 4, increase the value of sales, i.e. your prices or packaging. 5, improve your margins and manage your costs. 6, create the opportunity and encourage your customers to buy more often from you. And 7, retain your customers for longer. As has been spoken about with British Cycling, the concept is to increase your activity in each area, sometimes by just a little bit, and then the overall cumulative effect of growth of your business is much greater. However, the most important being the number of leads, as without the number of leads, you have no prospects to sell to, nobody to price to, and then nobody to retain. So the biggest challenges that most business owners face include one or more of the following. Lead generation. So that's generating those additional sales inquiries, i.e. giving you more prospects. Their conversion, so turning those prospects into customers, so therefore having more paying customers. And then the penetration, upsell or cross-sell, so maximising the sales to your existing customers, therefore enabling you to make more profit. Following the proven working practices of many businesses, you will help improve your marketing, improve your conversion success and build strong relationships that together will present cross-selling opportunities. So here are some of the ways which you can help generate leads and eventually more sales. It is in my view that if you get your marketing right, then there is actually much less selling involved. How can you use your marketing techniques that I mentioned to uncover the true need of your prospect, i.e. the pain of not using you or the gain of buying from you? Then you will find that obtaining the ideal clients that you desire much easier than you perhaps think. I will cover some of the key marketing activities for a small business, especially serviced businesses, but please explore other areas that may work for your business. However, firstly, you should decide on who you want to target with your marketing. Who is your ideal client? I'm not saying that you will decline work from other prospective clients, but as our marketing time and budget is usually limited, then it is best spent focusing on the clients that we want to work with and which will make our work much more enjoyable. So why not everyone? Well, if we had a portfolio of ideal clients, the benefits would be along the lines of working with the ideal clients is much more rewarding. You can concentrate your marketing efforts and your budget on that profile. You can better understand their needs and how you can help them. You'll be able to identify the product and service gaps, and you can easily adapt as you know the environment that you're working in. So can you profile your ideal client? Are they in a specific sector or an area? Are they a certain size business by turnover or number of employees? Is the business a startup or established and growing? Do they prefer a specific piece of software? Can decisions be made easily? What about the owners? Are they open to your input? Do they have similar interests or values? Or is a certain personality fit with you? There are other ways that we can identify our ideal client. There's demographics and geodemographics, looking at things like industrial classifications, age, sex, income, etc. Classifications, so things like are they thriving, expanding, aspiring businesses. One I particularly like is the life cycle of a business. So, for example, if we looked at the life cycle of an individual, they may be single, they're married, have children, and with a business life cycle, startup, developing, growth, sale. You have the psychographics and the contextual marketing, understanding what your client was doing when they decided to purchase. Although your marketing does not have to be restricted to a target group, on your own local research may indicate a different focus for you, the considered primary target market for many bookkeepers that I've worked with is very similar. The ideal client for them tends to be a small business that's owner managed with a turnover less than £250,000, employing less than 5 people without an in-house finance resources. This is the primary group, as sometimes businesses larger than this have an in-house resources already. I then find my clients personalise this profile with their own segmentation, such as a sector or within a stage of growth of the business that they like to work with. When you have identified who your ideal client is, then now it is important to complete your market research. Find people that will fit that profile, contact them and ask them specifically, where are you buying now and why? What do you get for your money? How often do you buy? What are the buying habits that you have? Who are your influencers? And is there a want or is it a need that you have that you buy for? I suggest you position the contact as research to help you start or grow a business. This will then build a great picture for you from which you can create your own marketing messages and your unique selling point. It is also common that someone that you call will ask you for more details about your services. So it is an opportunity to obviously discuss your services further as invited and place yourself on their future shopping list. Your final consideration before even starting your marketing activity is to consider how you want to represent yourself and your business. You may like to position your business as a larger concern, whilst others like to position with a much more personal touch. Both work, but what works for you? This positioning will fit with your overall compelling vision for your business. So if you want your business employing a team of people, then the personal approach might not be right for you, as someone who buys this will quickly become disheartened when you are personally not delivering. For your marketing messages, you would need to decide what is your unique selling point, what is your differentiator, and why would a prospective client or a referrer want to use your services. Firstly, list all your benefits as you would from the shoes of an ideal client and decide which characteristics do they value the most. Often this will not be your price, your service, or simply that they think you're the best. So consider each and indicate where you are different or unique, and then how this compares to your competitors and why. This will help you shape your own unique selling point that should then be included in your marketing material as a benefit of buying from you. It is also my recommendation from experience to work on the model of many small clients rather than a few large clients, which although tempting, makes you less vulnerable if they are no longer in need of your product or your service, so i.e. you're spreading the risk. So below is my minimal action plan that I would recommend to help increase your lead generation potential. However, the rest is in this section provides an overview of the marketing activities that have proven to work in the businesses that I've worked with to start or grow their own business. So the minimal action plan I recommend is to spread the word among your family, friends, ex-colleagues, neighbours, or other parents watching things like swimming lessons, etc. Design and print your eye-catching business cards. Set up your own website focused on your ideal client, your locality, your unique selling point, and your service offering. Contact 3 local accountants and 3 local bankers focused with a referral strategy, which I'll talk about more in a while. Undertake a targeted leaflet drop or a mail shot using an A5 flyer to local businesses that fit your ideal client profile. Register with online directories, especially those that are found on page 1 of an online search for your keywords or your key phrases. And then explore and join local networking groups, a group that has your ideal clients or potential referrers of your ideal clients. From our discussions and our surveys, certain marketing activity works better than others, especially for professional service providers that I've worked with. So below, I have included more details on the marketing activities that I feel should be part of your marketing plan. At this stage, it is important to create time in your diary for marketing, even when you're busy, as you want to keep the pipeline of your sales inquiries flowing. So mark time in your diary, like an appointment, as you are less likely to cancel that allocated time. Maximise that allocated time with a plan of activity, such as sending letters this week and following up next time. But most of all, try not to let this important business planning time and activity to be hijacked by other business activities in your business. It is easy to make an excuse not to do the marketing, but that attitude will impact on your ability to find new clients and grow your business. So looking at the individual areas, let's start with networking. This is usually a low-cost marketing activity and the one activity that enables you to meet people face to face to then impress upon them your personality. However, networking is not just about throwing money at every business group that exists locally, enjoying another cooked breakfast or glass of wine, and with the hope of attending that someone gives you an order or signs on that dotted line. The word networking in itself can be broken down to summarise, in my mind, what networking is all about. If we take network, that's a targeting your group of people to link up with and create your own network. So who is your ideal network? Who touches your ideal client? Then there's net. Once you've created and identified your people in your network and made those initial contacts, then throw a net over the top of them to capture them and retain them for your own relationship building activities. Then there's work. Work your network. This is the key part. You have to work those relationships and proactively develop them so that the contact moves from being a nice to know contact to an advocate of your business and a referrer or a client. And then lastly, king. Because if you get the marketing activity right, it can be the king of your marketing plan, as it's very cost effective and most leads or referrals are easier to convert to customers than from other types of marketing. So firstly, you need to build your network. So as touched upon earlier, your contacts can be found from a network that includes 7 key groups of people: your family, your friends, your neighbours, old employers or work colleagues, business contacts and associates, past, present or future, local business owners who also have contact or a synergy with your ideal client, and then lastly accountants, bankers and other professionals. The key to a successful network is identification and management. It is easy to make contacts, but look for the right contacts for your business, who is also working with your ideal client base. Obviously, accountants and bank managers are prime potential referrers. However, I've also found that graphic designers, printers and other service providers to be an excellent source of referrals, and they are also likely to be touching your target market. Hence why they're normally on the list first for many referral networking groups. Once you have your network and their contact information, you must work that network for your benefit. If you do not proactively work your network and build the relationships with purpose, such as a focus of giving you new business referrals, then as they are also busy people, then it is likely that they will forget about you. Your network would like to see referrals to them, and I have found that this encourages individuals to replicate the courtesy. So can you find a referral for your network? perhaps even for your own requirements. However, you should also keep your business on their agenda. Regular communication such as a newsletter or regular meetings for a coffee or to discuss a mutual client are the best ways of doing so. So how about networking groups, such as joining your local networking group or the Chamber of Commerce? I am personally an advocate of networking and, as mentioned, also believe that the right network of contacts can be a powerful way to grow your business via recommendations and referrals. I would recommend that you join a local networking referral group, especially as a startup, as it can be the quickest way to generate your early clients. There are many networking opportunities in most business communities, from your local Chamber of Commerce to referral groups such as BNI, BRE and 4 Networking, to name a few. Use an online search to find your local business networking groups, and then I recommend that you visit a few of these local groups and establish if the group is right for you and your efforts. Running your own business takes time, so maximising your time is critical, and attending events that do not add value or create opportunities is worth this. However, as mentioned above, assess whether the attendees of that group can help you find new clients or if their services can help you and your clients. You should also assess whether the style of the group meeting suits your needs. So for example, some people like the profile where others do not like standing up at every meeting and giving a 60-second speech. Having said that, it is important to push your comfort zone. Remember, first impressions are created within 7 seconds, so think about how you present yourself at such meetings and how you would respond to the common question, so what do you do? My advice is always look to ask first, speak second. This way you can personalise your response to that person or their likely client base. Also, know what it is that you truly do for your customers. For example, everyone knows what a bookkeeper does and even has their own impression of what they do. When asked yourself, try different approaches and see what works. For example, I've found that an open statement such as "we support other business owners" captures the interest and obtains that all-important level of engaged attention without any preconceived impressions. And therefore then their next question has to be, well then how do you support them? Sometimes the opportunity to sell at these meetings progresses as you are speaking to someone who is keen to know much more right now on how you can help. But a recommended objective is to follow up your meeting and discussion with a one-to-one meeting at a later date. This way you can do your research and investigate a bit more about that person and their business, prepare better and personalise your business to them much more effectively. Another consideration, although it can be very time consuming, is to establish your own networking group. The additional benefit is that you can also control who you are referring business to, as well as who attends your meetings. Some networking groups have rolling members presentations, providing you with the opportunity to supply a greater amount of information about your services and why clients choose you. Other groups are looking for speakers, so can you get onto their speakers list? This sometimes needs a title that will capture the imagination, as this will help the organiser to promote and sell their own event. Another area is referrals, but referrals with a strategy. The purpose of networking is to generate new business inquiries, either directly from someone you meet or by creating a group of referral partners that wish to recommend your services. At the appropriate time you should ask for referrals and not just hope that they will happen. If you do not work the relationships to keep your business in the forefront of the potential referrer's mind, then don't be surprised if you slip their mind and they do not refer to you. You should be proactive, have a referral strategy that is much more than just networking, and target your delighted clients and your network of contacts. So consider now how you could be more proactive with asking for referrals. Perhaps you can review your existing clients' customer and supplier lists. Is there any contacts that you could work for or perhaps ask for an introduction to? How about asking for a testimonial on receipt? Comment that, "Thank you, you obviously like what we do, so do you know anyone else we can perhaps also support?" When asking for a referral, position in their mind your ideal client. They already know you and what you do, but are you reminding them that you can work with a certain type of customers, and then this puts another prospective opportunity on their radar? Increasing your personal profile can have a big impact on the number of referrals you receive. So can you get others talking about you and your reputation rather than you always shouting out your marketing messages? Perhaps you can speak at local events by invitation and offer a thought-provoking topic. Can you offer to be an expert hotline for advice? Can you produce a newsletter that shares your market knowledge and expertise? Are you being seen, not just at networking events, but on the forums or by contributing to LinkedIn group discussions and social media? So in summary about referrals, what can you do to keep reminding your potential referrer about you, your business, and importantly, what you can do to support their customers and contacts? Some of my tips to make referrals work for you are to communicate your ideal client to your potential referrers. Gather proof that you can do it and share this with your referrers. That might be testimonials, case studies, awards, nominations. Have a compelling offer that offers a benefit for the referrer and the prospect. So for example, an accountant may be a good referrer for a bookkeeper because their client needs such a service. But if they also know it will make their year-end processing much easier and the work much more profitable, then they will definitely refer you. So in my view, it is so important to know the real reason why someone will refer you. Make sure you're telling everybody that you're open for business, even when you're busy. Accountants, bankers and other professionals such as commercial property agents can be a very good source of referrals for you as they're meeting business owners on a daily basis. However, they are referral targets for so many people, so ensure that you have your proposition right, it's unique and with them in mind. I recommend that you choose and introduce yourself to initially a maximum of 3 accountants and 3 bankers, etc. Why only 3 of each type of professional? Well, a good relationship is a working relationship, and our experience tells us that you'd find it much more difficult to manage a greater number and give referrals to all of the different people if you had many more. With the right referral partner, you can also consider a strategic alliance with them, which together can appear seamless to your client. However, you should consider the impact that this will have on other businesses or potential referrers from the same type of business. You may also partner with other business owners who have a similar ideal client to run joint presentations or workshops, whereby you share the responsibility of attendees, but also create the opportunity of opening the door into their client base. Every business community has local business leaders, so just by reading the paper, asking questions and keeping your ear to the ground, you will find out the local business influencers in your area. So as above, I recommend that you introduce yourself to these individuals and utilise their knowledge, i.e. where to network, who's the competition, who's the right people to speak to. With sales in general, but it works well for referrals, can you take away the risk of buying your services, such as a free offer or a guarantee? It is attractive to a prospective client to see an offer or a guarantee. If you are a service provider, one way of encouraging a prospect to trust you and to try your services is to offer them the first day or month free or refundable in full. You will live up to your promises and retain the client for future fee income, and very rarely are good guarantees ever taken up. So by moving this risk from them to you, and they make the move for a free trial, my experience that they will stay with you. However, obviously be careful who you offer this type of specific guarantee to, as someone may want some initial work being done and a backlog sorting out with no intention of any long-term relationship. But you usually get a feel for this type of person at the initial meeting. So a couple of other areas. Your professional stationery. It is important that you have a business card, letterheads and possibly other stationery that reflects your business and what you represent, whilst being attractive to your prospect and ideal client or referrer. You may also design a leaflet or a flyer to distribute at networking events and utilise with direct mail campaigns. It is important that the design of all your stationery, promotional material and website has a consistent look and feel, otherwise sometimes the prospect may feel that they're not one of the same business. If there is not consistency, then it confuses the prospect and quite often they move on to look at someone else. As with your online messages, look to include messages about your credibility, your keywords and why people like you and your business. I suggest that you start with one leaflet, flyer or an advert, measure the response, tweak your findings and then produce your next advert or flyer. Another section to look at is email or printed newsletters. In my opinion, such communications are a must and a great way to generate interest for a cross-sale opportunity or continue relationship building. There are many email marketing management tools online that integrates the facility to send email communications such as newsletters or promotions and monitors the recipient's activity. I personally like InTouch CRM, but other options are available. You can set up a thank you template and send this to referrers, or a birthday card wishes template to send to clients. I would recommend that it is good for most businesses to send regular newsletters providing a range of content that you share with your customers and your network. Such communication keeps you and your business on the agenda and, as they say, in their face. As you make a new contact and obtain their details, you should seek their permission and interest to receive your email communications before adding them to your email marketing system. If your prospects, referrers or clients are not likely to read emails, then consider the traditional route of a printed newsletter. Some people prefer this format and even print off an email to read. Plus, you're also not listed in the inbox with a number of other similar emails waiting to be culled. One of the key areas for me is about a website. More and more prospects are finding service providers online and using the web as part of their research. I strongly recommend that you have a website that covers your services, your unique selling point, and has case studies and testimonials to demonstrate your offering for your delighted customers. You should also decide on the keywords or key phrases for which you would like to be known, and also have your website on the first page of an online search results page if someone typed that word or phrase into a search engine. When setting up your website, you should ensure that you maximize these keywords within your page descriptions, your page titles, your meta tags, your keyword section, and also in part of the actual content. With the addition of mobile devices, you should also ensure that your website works well as designed in all different devices and within various different internet browsers. The minimum content of your website is recommended to include your keywords, as mentioned above, use of the messages that your prospect wants to read, what you do, and how this benefits your clients, such as also using case studies. How good you are, which is best supported with testimonials, and also that demonstrates your credibility. Some other online marketing could be that, as I've mentioned, email newsletters, but in the same way you could send out emails to your contacts with direct sales messages or information. Other online marketing can include social media, which can work, but I strongly recommend that you measure how well your network reacts to tweets, posts and status updates, as it works for some and not others. You should ensure that the social platform that you use suits your business, so LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter or Google Plus are considerations as to whether they suit the way that you have positioned your business. From the results of the professional service providers that I have worked with recently, I recommend that you have a strong LinkedIn profile and use this platform to generate connections with prospective referrers and clients. If you are using more than one social media platform, then consider software such as Hootsuite that can manage all your activity in one area. But don't be lazy and just post the same update to all your social media, as a message for Facebook may be very different in style and approach to that of a tweet. A word of warning though with social media: plan your time and be dedicated to that plan, as it can easily absorb too much of your proactive time available. Have you considered online discussion forums? I recommend finding a local area specific online forum. Be careful as to how much personal data you're asked to divulge. These can be a useful way of demonstrating your expertise by helping with questions or contributing to discussion. If possible, find a forum that is widely used by business owners or their employees and not by your competitors. Do not register for all the forums you can find, as you'll spend all day commenting and adding entries. Directory listings. We did mention this earlier, but this is a balance between traditional paper, the Thomson directories and the yellow pages, and the online directories. Like you, I'm finding that the shift to directory listings has moved from the traditional books, such as Thomson and yellow pages, to online directories, of which now there are hundreds. I strongly recommend that you look at local and national online directories to ensure that your business is listed, and wherever you can, add a backlink to your website by quoting the web address to be listed. As mentioned, I suggest an online search for your keywords or phrases and review the directories that appear on the first one or maybe two pages. These are a must for your inclusion. Many are free and some request a nominal fee. If you are asked for a fee to list your business, then I suggest speaking to others listed to see if the return on investment has been worthwhile for them before committing. Also, consider directory listings for local groups like council's directory listings or as a member of the local Chamber of Commerce. Newspaper or local magazine advertising or editorials. Well, ideally, you need to establish the type of publications that your ideal prospect is reading. Then it is consideration as to whether advertising in that publication meets your budget and your likely return on investment. For example, as a local service provider, I recommend reviewing the local magazines and publications such as your parish magazines before considering newspaper advertising, as the latter will be much more expensive and perhaps not as targeted to your ideal market. The more local media or local community publication is generally well read with interest by those in that community. They also seem to be kept a little longer than a traditional newspaper. If you can, try and control the location of your advert. You don't want your advert to be lost within a number of advert-only pages, and ideally you want to have your advert placed alongside the piece that your ideal client is most likely to read. For example, that might be the business owner's advice column. If you are placing adverts, try to obtain free editorial, which gives you the opportunity to say much more than an advert ever will. However, if you are writing editorial, always remember your key points and primary call to action. Do not get distracted from what you want your reader to do, for example to call you, to visit your website or to download a document, just because you can write more words. And if you do advertise, expect a number of calls from other media offering you the publication space to advertise with them. Can you obtain press coverage? Now every business has a story to tell, so what's your story? Does it involve a client that you support? If you have a story to tell or something to highlight, always consider preparing a statement for the local press. They are usually looking for stories to fill their publications, and if it is not time critical, can sometimes sit with the editor until they can use it at an appropriate time. Good PR is free advertising. You could consider a leaflet drop or a direct mail campaign. The response rate of such marketing can be low and sometimes demotivating for the effort. However, it is another activity that has lower direct costs, but do not underestimate the cost and value of your time undertaking this activity. The industry response rate that you can expect can be in the region of 1 to 2% of such a campaign. I'd recommend at least 100 targets per campaign, but do not go overboard, as you'll not be able to service any response or ideally implement a telephone follow-up campaign once they've been sent or posted within reality. The key to any direct mail campaign is to do your research in advance and ensure that your mailing is addressed to the right person. As indicated, leaflet drops and direct mail campaigns are much more effective when they're followed up by a telephone call. In relation to telephone calling can be effective but usually a longer term part of your marketing plan. I never use the term cold calling, as I believe the initial research of your target client is critical and you're not just ploughing through a directory without any knowledge of them. I recommend that you purchase a good quality target list to your target criteria, as such list will exclude those businesses that are registered under the telephone preference service to avoid such calls, and fines are possible if you call such a number and are reported. You can also build your own local list, targeting businesses that you'd like to work with and fit your ideal client profile. The first thing is to not think about the call as a sales call. This has too many negative messages for many of us and usually impacts the way that we make such calls. So think about the calls as a service call or an information finding exercise. If you can, make a call with the intention to find out the need and the pain of the business owner, then you can convert the conversation to how you can help. You can employ agencies to make the call yourselves, such as market makers in Southampton, but this usually requires a larger investment than many small business owners feel that they can invest. If you do make the call, then you can add your passion for your business and have the answers for any questions or objections immediately. However, if you do make the call yourself, then I recommend that you work with small lists of 10 to 15 names and numbers at any one time. Why so few and not a list of 100 names, you may ask? Well, firstly, very few of us have time to call 100 names, so in reality it's not going to happen. In addition, it may not be our expertise or something that comes naturally to us, so the rejections, which are likely in this type of activity, can be demotivating. Therefore, by feeling that you only have a few calls left to make, rather than thinking you've got many more calls to make and you may get such reactions today, can again change the way that you approach each call. The best tip I can give is to think about each call with a fresh, clear view. You never know, but the next call may be the one that converts to that great client. So if you are feeling less than positive about making the next call due to the last conversation you've just had, then stop and make yourself a coffee. Then come back afresh and start again. If you do not know the decision maker's name, consider an initial call to find out the right person to contact, and then make a second call in the day or sometime later specifically asking for that person, as you've been told that they're the person responsible for making the decision about your offering. And then there's the rest of the marketing activity. Well, as I say, also don't forget everything that you do in your business is in effect marketing of your business, marketing your reputation, your profile and your capability. So who you employ, where you locate your office, the systems you use, your competency, whether you charge VAT, the business entity which you trade, your communication style, your customer service, your pricing, all this impacts on what your prospects think about you and therefore is also about your marketing. The last part of this article then focused on sales because I see the natural link between marketing and sales with a small business. So with sales, well, attracting prospective clients and generating inquiries from your marketing activities is the first step. But then to help you convert your inquiries to a client, I have below summarised some tips to support your sales meeting technique. My 8 key sales tips are: convert your features to benefits, and it's easy to use the phrase of which means that. So your feature, which means that, the benefit. Be an effective listener. Listen more than you speak. Ask good questions using a mix of open, closed, probing, leading and assumptive questions. Summarise and reconfirm your understanding. Match the needs with benefits. Be prepared for objections and have responses prepared. Personalise your approach to your prospect. Do they prefer to see your offering? Do they prefer to hear it? Do they prefer to feel it or do it? And don't forget, the key part is to ask for the business, effectively close where you can. In each sales call or sales meeting, there are 6 steps to the sales process which I recommend will help you shape your meeting with a prospect. Your introduction, then open with a benefit about how your business can help which will capture their interest. Establish the specific need of your prospect. Reconfirm to check your understanding of that need and how they would feel if that need was met. Then meet the need with more benefits of your service and summarise, and close the discussion by asking for the business or the sale. When establishing the need of your prospect, you do not always have to ask open questions. Yes, open questions gather information, but sometimes a quick closed question can take you in the right direction. Other questioning techniques include asking questions that are leading, probing, suggest an alternative or assumptive. At all stages you are looking for buying signals from a prospect, such as, that sounds interesting, tell me more. How much is that going to cost me? When you have these responses, you know you're on the right lines and should as soon as possible look to close the sale. In sales meetings, many people worry about what they're going to say. Yes, obviously saying the wrong thing is not good, but consider about how you are going to say it and your body language that supports this. Research tells us that the ways people are forming an attitude, a like or a dislike of someone, is based on 55% of the body language, 38% of the voice, and 7% of the words. So can you see it's not really all about what you say? When you receive an inquiry or response to your marketing, try to find out exactly how they came to hear about you and your business. This will help you understand what works and obviously what to do more of in the future. And lastly, with your sales, be persistent. It can take many touches before a prospect gets to know, like and trust you. The published research suggests there is a minimum of 7 touches before a purchase can be made. So have a plan to retain your touches and don't give up until you're told a no. I wish you every success with your marketing and attraction of your ideal customer. I hope you have found this article thought-provoking, and I wish you every success in the future with your business.